There's a door in my house that wasn't there before. It appeared 3 nights ago. I live alone in a small 2-bedroom house that I inherited from my grandparents. It's old, creaky, and full of character. But I've always felt safe here. I know every nook and cranny, every sound the old pipes make at night, the way the floorboards shift when you walk down the hall. That's why I noticed it immediately when I woke up to get a drink of water and saw the door. It was at the end of the hallway, between my bedroom and the guest room. A door that had no right to be there. The house only had 2 bedrooms, but now suddenly there was a 3rd door. It was made of dark wood with a brass handle and looked old, older than the rest of the house. It blended in so well, it was as if it had always been there. But I knew better. My first instinct was to open it. I reached for the handle, curiosity getting the better of me. But the second my hand touched the cool brass, a chill ran through my body, so intense that I pulled back immediately. Something deep inside me, some primal part of my brain, was screaming not to open that door. I stood there, hand hovering above the handle, trying to rationalize it. Maybe I just never noticed it before. Maybe the house had more rooms than I realized. Maybe I was half asleep, and this was all a dream. But the longer I stood there, the more certain I became that I was awake, and that door didn't belong. I backed away, my heart racing, and hurried back to my bedroom. I locked the door, feeling foolish, and lay in bed, trying to convince myself it didn't matter. But sleep didn't come easily. All night, I felt a strange pressure in the house, like the air had thickened, like something was waiting just outside my room. The next morning, the door was gone. I nearly convinced myself that I'd imagined the whole thing. But then, the next night, it was back. Same place, same old wooden door just waiting for me. This time, it was different. There was a noise coming from the other side. Faint at first, barely noticeable, like a soft hum or whisper. I pressed my ear to the wood, trying to make out what it was. It wasn't humming. It was breathing. I stumbled back, heart pounding in my chest. Something was behind that door, something alive. I rushed back to my room and locked the door again. But this time, I didn't sleep at all. I could hear it now. All night, that soft, rhythmic breathing, like it was right outside my door, waiting. Every once in a while, it would stop. And for a second, I'd hold my breath, terrified that whatever was behind that door was listening to me too. The following day, I did something I should have done from the beginning. I called the real estate agent who had sold the house to my grandparents. She was an older woman, had been in the business for decades, so I figured she might know more about the house's history. When I asked her if the house had ever had a 3rd bedroom or a strange door, there was a long pause on the other end of the line. Then she said something that made my stomach drop. "Don't go near it. Don't touch it." She told me the house had always been known for strange occurrences, rooms that would appear and disappear, cold spots, odd sounds, things that no one could explain. But what she said next terrified me the most. There's a room in that house that shows up when it wants to, and once you open the door, you can't close it. I hung up without saying goodbye, my hands trembling. The door was a trap. Something was trying to lure me in, and if I opened it, I'd be stuck with whatever was inside. I spent the day avoiding the hallway, but as night fell, the pressure in the house returned, heavier than ever. It felt like the walls were closing in, like something was forcing me toward that door. That night, it was louder. The breathing had turned into a soft scratching, like nails on wood. I tried to drown it out with music, but nothing helped. My whole body was tense, every instinct telling me to stay far away from the hallway. But the scratching wouldn't stop. I tried to stay in bed, tried to ignore it. But around midnight, it became unbearable. It was like the sound was inside my skull, burrowing deeper with every scrape. I couldn't take it anymore. I got up, grabbed a flashlight, and crept toward the hallway. There it was, the door. The scratching had stopped the moment I approached, and now there was only silence. I stood there, heart hammering in my chest, flashlight in hand. This time, I knew I couldn't leave it alone. Whatever was behind that door wouldn't let me. With shaking hands, I grabbed the handle and turned it. The door creaked open, revealing nothing but darkness. The flashlight flickered, casting weak beams of light into the room. But it didn't help. The darkness beyond the door was too thick, too unnatural, like it was swallowing the light whole. I couldn't see anything, but I felt something. Something was watching me from the shadows. The air was freezing, and the smell of damp earth filled my nostrils. My hand trembled as I pointed the flashlight into the void, but it wouldn't penetrate the blackness. Then suddenly, the scratching started again, this time from inside the room. I stepped back, heart racing, but before I could move any further, something moved. A shape in the darkness. Something big, hunched, and wrong. It lurched forward, and the door slammed shut in my face. I bolted back to my room, locking the door behind me, heart pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. I pressed my ear to the door, waiting, listening for any sign that it had followed me. And then I heard it. 3 slow knocks on my bedroom door. I haven't opened it since. I'm trapped in here. I can hear it breathing on the other side, scratching, waiting. And I know that if I open the door, even a crack, it'll be the last thing I ever do. Because once you open the door, you can't close it.